Now then, people of YouTube, hope you're all doing alright. It's Eddie back again with another pickup video. This time I've just been back from the Doncaster gaming market and I must say very impressed this time, especially after going to the Leeds Retro Game Fair, which is okay, it just isn't as good as the Doncaster one. Doncaster one is the heart and soul of the video game collecting scene. It's got everyone there, all the collectors and all the big sellers, so you've got the best of everything really. So what did I pick up? Well, got some good stuff, I must say. Not a lot of stuff, but it's probably going to be a bit of a long video. I forgot a few things from the last one, a few leftovers to start me off with. So what I'll start off with is one of my big things. The reason why I forgot to put this in the last video is because I already put it away. I'll put it up in my display of stuff, and that is the Zelda Wii U box. Bit of a naughty one on this one really. So when I went over to the Leeds game market last time, I went over to Scunthorpe, which is where I'm from, and I went into the CEX there, and there really wasn't much there, but there was this. And the reason why I got this is, oh no, I thought I had the price sticker on still, but they put this near perfect box as a discounted console. So I was like, I think it was £80 for the Wii U Wind Waker console box. It's amazing. So I picked that up, and while I was coming home I was thinking, do I really want to spend that much money on just a box? Because I'm not really a big box console collector really. I've not got enough room for all that stuff, but that one's just so pretty, I couldn't let it go. So I was racking my brains, shall I take it back? And then what I thought, bit of a gaming collecting confession this, what I did is I swapped the gamepad with mine, and I returned the console that came in this box and my gamepad, and I just returned it, said I didn't want it anymore, to my local one, and they just accepted it back and said I got, instead of cash, I got trade value, some trade credit, which I didn't mind so much because I mean I got this box. I got the box for free basically. Bit of a naughty one. The thing is, I know it's not the best thing to say, but it's not like returning a game and stealing the manual out of it. The thing is, this was actually marked up as an unboxed console, as a discounted console, and my console is actually probably in worse condition than that one. I don't know why they've put that, but I mean it worked out well for me. Yeah, so probably got a lot of hate for that first bit of the video, but hope you all still like me after that. Alright, so next one, another big one, another one that I missed from the last video, because again, in my collection. It's not really a game, but it's a nice little display piece. Earthworm Jim box, just a steel tin, nothing inside it, but I mean it was £5 off eBay and looks amazing. I mean, what I love about collecting games is the artwork, and this is just the artwork from the game in a bigger format, so it's pretty cool, especially to have up on your shelf, and so cheap. So yeah. Right then, so a few PlayStation 2 games I've got. You're probably sick of me saying this by now, but it's not going to be for long, honest. I've not got far to go, but yeah, another 505 games. This one, Puzzle Maniacs. Unleash your logic, admit you're a puzzle maniac too. So basically all this one is just like them slide puzzles and jigsaw puzzles, just with like random photos on. Probably didn't sell very well. I can't remember. I think all these got sold in like the Morrisons, in the Morrison supermarkets, and you used to see them on the end aisles. And at them days I really wasn't into collecting games, and that's why they all got put on the shelf, and like a lot of them you can buy sealed nowadays. Now this one, another PlayStation 2 game, The Shaman King, Power of the Spirit. So this one, I think this is a strategy RPG, by looking at the box. But yeah, it's another one that really taken my fancy. It's this? An Ignition? Oh no, it's another Konami games. Konami games. So another one to add to my Konami collection. Oh, I'm doing it again. Another 505 Game Street one. Panzer Front Horse-B. I think this was from actually CEX as well. I think it was like £6, which usually goes for about £15. But again, if you check CEX, you get some of these like value, the budget games, the 505 and essential games for like really cheap. They don't seem to know all the prices for them games. They just go for like the bigger games, like Rule of Rose and stuff like that. They know them ones, and that's about it. So sometimes when these come in, you can grab yourself a bargain. And this, great condition, manuals, pretty minty, discs, looks like it's untouched. So yeah, pretty happy with that one. And again, another CEX find, Covert Command, and I can't remember how much this one was. Probably another £5 to £6 game from CEX, Essential Games, which, come to think about it now, I'm probably actually not far off getting a complete Essential Games one, but the ones I do need for that one are expensive and not that great. So it's not one I'm actively seeking, but I might end up doing it. Zombie Hunters 2 is one I really wouldn't mind. That one looks really good. Well, I'm really into the one Chanibara like series. It's so cheesy, like B-movie style, like samurai babes. Like you can't make it up. It's brilliant. Next one. It's not a PlayStation 2 game. In fact, this one's for a console I don't even own yet. But I'm really into the Castlevania series. I think I mentioned that in the last video. Someone I talked to on like in a WhatsApp group had this, and he didn't really want it. I think there's no manual in this one, so he wanted it, but he wanted it like a bit more perfect. But I'm not like a mint collector sort of thing, so I said I'll buy it off him for like how much he paid for it. So I got this nice and cheap. He added this little protective box on it and everything like that. So cheers, Simon. And another one, I actually think this isn't a leftover, this is one I've actually built recently, but I thought I needed to show it off ASAP since I'm now in the YouTube club. YouTubers Life, OMG, oh my goodness, what is this game? It's only just recently come out, but there wasn't any on eBay, and I saw one and I put a bid in, like stupidly cheap bid, and I won it. So it's sealed, discs loose. I don't know. Maybe I will play this. So yeah. So you can upload your recipes, record gameplay, and publish music videos. Create your own videos and channels. Meet famous YouTubers. So is any of you on this game? Maybe, I don't know. I've got to play it and find out. I guess. Right. So yeah, that was my leftovers. I think. Yeah, that's all my leftovers from the last video. Now this is from the Sunday. Everything I'm going to show now is everything from Sunday. I was getting a bit excited. I went to bed a bit too early on the Saturday night, and I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't sleep, so I thought, what shall I do? And I thought, obvious thing, go to bloody car boot. So off I went, off I trotted. Went to my local one, and there was no one there. It was absolutely empty. I was walking around and I saw this item, and I saw it and I was interested, but it's not something I really wanted to pick up. So I carried around, and there was nothing there. There was absolutely nothing there I wanted to pick up. So I went back, and I couldn't go away empty-handed. So I went back and made an offer, and she accepted. So what it is, without further ado, is the PlayStation Mini. It's not something. It's a bit of a tap, really. It's not what everyone was expecting. There's a lot of games that everyone thought was going to be on it, but just never did. But I really wasn't going to get it myself, because all the games that I did want to play, I've got them on PlayStation Vita, on PlayStation Network, so I can play them anywhere, anytime. So all I've got this for is an expensive bloody paperweight, bit of decoration for the room. I've taken it out, and it's downstairs in my living room. So I'm not quite set up yet. I've not had time for that yet. So what I will do, and I'm going to attempt the mod so I can put a few more games on it, because I mean I've played all the games over more than I need to replay. I don't really need to play anything again. So the only one I really wouldn't mind playing on here is the Persona game. So that would be quite interesting to play, because obviously that never came out over here, and getting an American copy I think is just more money than it's worth. So yeah, got a nice little display box. Oh yeah, £25 I paid for that. She was originally putting it up for £35, and I lowballed her at like 20, and she was like nah. And I was like, well, what about 25? And she was like, I'm not too sure, because it was a boyfriend's, and he came back. When I came back, she was like, yeah, he's accepted £25, it's fine. So I picked it up, and again, looked at the time, it was still like 7:30 or something. So I went to another car boot on the way over to Doncaster. This one was the Manchester one. Not much game wise, but some pretty cool stuff. First off, Strange Brigade on the PlayStation 4. I've been after this one for a bit actually. It's a fairly new game. It looks really interesting. It looks like Uncharted meets Left 4 Dead or something like that. It's like a 4-player campaign. However, if you're playing it on your own or offline, which I don't really play online games, it's just 1 player, and I think it lets it down a bit. I think it'd be more fun as a 4-player game. So it's like over the top. I played like 1 level of it. It was pretty good. There's like a commentator that's like just over the top cheesing. I think that's basically what makes the game. So yeah, it's like an Uncharted Horde mode sort of game. Interesting. I'll probably complete that hopefully at some point. Next up, Need for Speed Carbon. It's one that I've been picking up recently just for trade credit, but I thought this time I'm just going to keep it for myself, because I think the value of it's gone down a bit now. So yeah, another interesting one to get. Oh, I didn't realise this was as dog-eared as this. Playboy Mansion. My sister actually had this one. In fact, a lot of girls I used to know for some reason went for this. The guys never did. So I think it's because it's more of a Sims style kind of a game. Probably a bit like that YouTube. That's what YouTube, oh my god game. So yeah, it's not one that I would normally go for, but it's kind of like a conversation starter. Playboy the Mansion, especially now it's all a bit dog-eared. Never mind. And next, another game I can't believe I've not got, and I've not even got the PlayStation 3 Special Edition either. So another one I'm looking out for. But yeah, this only cost 50p. So what made it a better value as well, when I opened it up, it had a memory card in it. So it's a bit of a bonus. Got the art card and everything in it. So happy days. Right then, so that was it. That was the car boots all picked up and everything like that. So I went over to Doncaster, and got there about 10 o'clock, just before 10 o'clock. Started queuing, and then I realised it wasn't open until 11 o'clock. It's an hour later than it normally was. Oh, blimey. The queue was already, by 10 o'clock, the queue was already like quite far up to the fire doors. And waiting in that queue for that next hour was a killer. So I was just on my phone, just looking for like new things, chatting to people. And by the time I was coming in, my phone was absolutely dead. I was like a bit scared I wasn't going to make it back. But yeah, I managed to make it back anyway, so that's good. So I'm here now. So yeah, eventually got in. The queue went absolutely bananas. It was just huge by the time everyone's going in, and that was for the early bird as well. So yeah, got in, it was nice and quiet, and then 10 minutes later it was absolutely rammed. It was absolutely chocker in there, but I don't know, it's kind of nice because it's not like a normal car boot where everyone's there like just being aggressive and like not very nice and barging into everyone. Everyone's there like for a good time. Everyone's there just chatting away. You get to speak to all the stall holders and all the people that are around you, because you're all in there for the same thing. You're all there for games, and generally I think people in the gaming community are a bit nicer than the ones that are trying to get stuff to flip on eBay and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh, just looked down. I've missed something from the car boots. I thought there was a bit quick. But yeah, not games, but gaming related. So yeah, I've got a few plushes. Yeah, first one. This is one that caught my eye. Waluigi. I was like, blimey, you don't see that often. So picked him up, and I was like, have you got any others? And he was like, yeah, I've got a few more. So next up, Yoshi. I picked him up and he was like, oh yeah, he's my favourite, that one. And picked up another one. It was a Sonic, and I've not seen this one before because I've got another Sonic plush, but this one's a lot better quality, and it's a Sega Prize Europe, so you must have won that one at some point. So yeah, it's really good quality Sonic, this one. And yeah, the last one that he had that I wanted, at least anyway, was the Toad. And then he was saying he was going, oh, you're breaking my heart, taking all my favourite toys away. By the way, this was like a 40-year-old man saying this. It wasn't a kid I was taking it from. There was no kids on that stall, but they had like loads of plushes, and I'm kind of kicking myself now thinking about it. But he had like loads of Pokemon plushes as well, but I'm not really a big Pokemon fan, so it's not something I would collect. But I think they're probably worth some money, actually, more than what I paid. He originally said £2, and I only wanted that one to start off with, so I said £1. And when I bundled them all together, he said £3 for all 4 of them. So I think that's quite a good deal. So if I bundled all them Pokemon ones in, I think I could have probably made about 20–30 quid on them all. Well, these are going to be in my collection. I like to have like a few plushes around. Makes the room look a bit more interesting than having just like plain boxes that is everywhere that we seem to have as pile collectors. It's either black for the PlayStation 1 or white for PlayStation 2. Now it's just mainly blue for PlayStation 4. But yeah, bit of decoration. Yep. So sorry about that. That is definitely all the car boot stuff now. Definitely. I think I said. Just double checking. Right. Yeah. So back to Leeds Gaming Market. So yeah. Few different things I got from there. I won't go in order of what I got them. I'll get him just basically sort of like interest, I suppose. Leave my big one for the end. Yeah, next up, Firestorm Thunderhawk 2. I remember playing this actually when I was a kid. I think it was on a demo, and then I actually bought it. But again, another reason why I'm getting some of these PlayStation 1 games that are not the best of games. I want to get a full double case PlayStation 1 set. Just because, again, I like making these little subsets. I make these little rules up because I don't want to go for full sets. Not got the room, not got the money. So I'll just go for something like that, especially when they've got like 1 or 2 games that are like really interesting. And the double case ones, there is a few that in there that interest me. Castlevania being one, that's quite a big money one. And I think, is it Motortoon Grand Prix 2? I don't know where I'm going to get that one from. I think it comes up once in a blue moon. I've seen a picture of it. That's about it. So I've been looking on eBay for the last year or 2. So if anyone's got it and want to sell it for a tenner, I'm your guy. Yeah. So next up, Crazy Taxi 2. Yeah, this was a tenner, and I got it bundled with the next game. Love this game. I remember playing this a lot as a kid. Music blaring, just come back from skating and then want to chill and play Crazy Taxi or Crazy Taxi 2. It's just so much fun. The music was just amazing. It was at the time that was the type of music I was listening to a lot, really. Bit of the charity, poppy, punky sort of stuff. So yeah, it's quite fun. And the next one, another Dreamcast game, The Nomad Soul. I remember playing this on the PC briefly, but I didn't quite get into it. But I didn't realise this is a Quantic Dreams one. So Heavy Rain and stuff like that. Like they made this one. I think this is like the first game from that studio. So also was it David Bowie? That was it. David Bowie's. I think he had a part in this. I think I might be wrong. I might be making it up because it doesn't actually say it on the back. Oh, it is, yeah. So it's on the front, David Bowie. Thought it was. Yeah, so bit of an adventure game, bit not quite an RPG, but yeah, it's quite interesting. I'll probably pop it in and play it for a little bit. Not the best of condition, but I got them both bundled for 22 quid, so I think that was quite a good deal, because I'm sure I've seen that for like 25 quid on its own. Next up, there was a guy that was selling, like, he just had like loads of boxes on the floor, and he just had most randomest stuff ever, like all gaming related, but it's just like just everything. So I picked up this PlayStation 1 game first, and yeah, I've heard this is a pretty good game. It looks quite good. It's like an over-the-top isometric shooter, so another kind of game I'm really into. I love my shooters and my action and blowing stuff up. And then next thing, from the same store, he had this for the Game Boy Watch. I've been wanting this for ages, but every time I go to I think they used to sell them in game, but every time I used to go there, never used to have them in. In fact, I don't think the game stores around me have anything in that I want. It's always just all the big stuff, all the AAA games that doesn't really interest me. But yeah, so I asked him how much, and he said £10 for this and £2 for that. So, being tight as I am, I asked him, can you bundle it all for a tenner, and he just accepted. So that's pretty good. I'm sure, again, I think that's a £5, £10 game anyway. So I mean, again, case isn't the best condition. There's a big crack in it, but the disc itself, it's in a nice little baggie. It's got a manual. So, and the manual's in really good condition actually. So I'm happy with that. Happy with that indeed. Right. So my biggest stuff that I've got. Right. So in these gaming markets, I think I said last time, there's a guy from Scotland that always goes there. I've got his name this time. It's Alan's Import Games on Facebook. He seems to be getting bigger and bigger at every market. He has Super Famicom, Dreamcast, Saturn, PlayStation, everything, all Japanese games and import games, and he does some good prices. So yeah, first up, I got from him. It's pretty funny. Rise of Robots. I don't know how it managed to make its way to Japan. Maybe they thought the weird robots might appeal to them, and everyone will forget about the bad gameplay, which, yeah, I don't think that really worked. So yeah, it was pretty funny. The guy, the Alan, I was speaking to him for a bit, and he was saying, I don't know why anyone would want to spend real money for this game, but I mean, he's not wrong. Why would you? I mean, all you have to do is press the X button or something. Press the punch button, and then you basically punch to win, and that's all you have to do. Next up, another game that's from the Western market that's gone over. Was it Space Funky Bob, or just Bob as we know it? I remember back in the day, growing up, everyone seemed to have this on the Megadrive. Everyone, like, I had it. It was quite interesting. It wasn't the best of games, but it was still pretty fun. But yeah, it managed to make it over to Japan, and I guess like the boring artwork. I mean, so the Megadrive version. I suppose that might be a bit too boring for the Japanese people. So they rebranded it, renamed it to Space Funky Bob. I'm pretty certain it's the same game, but these Western releases that go over to Japan, they seem to command quite a lot of money. So that Bob, that's probably like a £5 game on the Mega Drive, maybe a tenner on the SNES. But this can go anywhere up to about £100, and I didn't pay that. I think this was either £40 or £30. But yeah, so when I saw it, I've actually had it on a eBay listing watch for a while, and it never comes up because these Western ones, they didn't really sell that much in Japan. But so because of that, their prices are up quite high, and all of, like, I think Westerners are probably the ones who are actually buying them. So there's this Earthworm Jim, which is probably like about a £200 game, cheap over here, expensive over there. What's another one? Bubsy Bobcat. That's another £100 plus game. This, yeah, cheap over here, expensive over there. Everyone thinks Super Famicom game collecting's cheap, but it is for the RPGs. Don't get me wrong, like all them are like £5–10 games, but I've spoken to someone before and they said that Japan, the RPGs were basically our sports games. They were the RPGs flooded the market over there, so and everyone bought them to excess. So that's why they're all like £5–10, like not expensive at all, except for the odd few ones. But then we get the odd few sports games that are quite expensive. And then yeah, so next one, Jerry Boy. I've seen this on a recommended video, and it was on one of my lists to get. I kind of got mistaken. I thought it was a Japanglish version of Jelly Boy, and I was speaking to someone. I said that's what it was, but I thought Jelly Boy was this game. I didn't realise it was just this weird, rubbish European platformer. But this one looks quite impressive. It's called something else in America, and I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, it's just quite an interesting little blob that's just this little blue blob that's going around doing a bit of platforming. So yeah, I've got all that. I think he did it all for £70 in the end. Again, this isn't a cheap game. I think you could probably get this and that for what I paid for all of them. Yeah, just £70 for that one and £70 for that one. So I think I've pretty much got all that for half price. So again, you can get some good bargains at these gaming markets. Put that back before I forget. Next up, Combat Cars. I've been looking at this one for a bit. It's sort of like a bit like a different perspective, slightly different perspective micro machines, but obviously with a bit of combat. So looks quite interesting. I think that was only £10, maybe cheaper, which pretty much the going rate. I think it's usually about £15 usually. So really happy to pick that one up. It feels quite beastie, quite heavy. So yeah, and then next up, I couldn't resist the Sega mags at the end of the market, and I had to pick up Mean Machines, mainly because they had the Parodius front cover. I love Parodius. It's one of the games that I played a lot of as a kid. I used to have the Japanese version on the Super Famicom, and I just absolutely love it. So I always try and pick up Parodius games. Got them on pretty much every system now. I just need the Saturn one, but I've not got a Saturn yet, so I'm sure it's still to come. But yeah, now we can see how much games used to be. So let's have a look. Magic Sword, £43. Oh, paid less than that for that recently. I guess games were expensive back then. I was expecting it all to be like £5 a game. But yeah, be giving that a read soon. And then next up, got myself a reproduction arcade marquee. This guy who sells these goes to all of the stores every year. I think they're £5 or free for £12, but I thought I'd just get one, because what I want to do with this, I want to make myself a little light box. So something like that deep, that wide, just put some LEDs inside it and a bit of glass, so I can change these up every so often when I want to. I thought that might be quite interesting to do. And then I can put it on top of my main cabinet. It'll just look like I've got a Ghosts and Goblins one. But knowing me, that idea is probably never come into fruition. It's probably going to be, if I do, probably like 2 or 3 years time. Put the idea to one of my friends who's got all the woodwork tools and everything like that. So see what happens. And then we're nearly there. We're at the big hitter for me anyway. Probably not for some of you, but it's one that I've been wanting for a while. I never had this when I was collecting last time. It was one that I wanted, but it seems to be shooting up in value just recently. So I knew I had to get it, and especially in the condition it's at. It was actually from one of the bigger sellers. So I was expecting them to be having like £100 plus value on it, but I managed to get them down to, I can't remember, I think it was £80. It might have been £70, but either way, even for £80, that's still a bargain. McDonald's Treasureland Adventures, yeah. I'm sure you all know what this is, but just in case you don't, it's a McDonald's game starring Ronald McDonald. It's a platforming game, and you're probably thinking that's going to be terrible, but it's actually I've been told, and it looks like it's a really good adventure, good game, mainly because it's made by Treasure, who obviously made the Gunstar Heroes franchise, Ikaruga, as I'm wearing the t-shirt, so that's a bit of a coincidence. Yeah, I'm really happy to have this in the collection. This is, again, it's one I've really been looking forward to getting. Really happy to have. When I started my Megadrive collection up again, I just wanted to get rid of all, like, just have all the games that I wanted to play. Try stay away from like just collectible games and just have like games that are solid. So this was one of the ones that was like top of my list. I made a little year want list, and that was I think that was on the top of it, at least number 2 anyway. Probably getting my Amiga again, a good A1200 with a nice Commodore monitor or a Philips monitor. That is my top of my list. This is second, and I've got it, and I'm happy. And yeah, even if I don't pick up another decent Mega Drive game this year, I'll be happy. Proper super stoked by that. So yeah, that's everything to show you this time. Yeah, I just thought I'd just do a Leeds pickup and like have my overflow from earlier from the last one. Yeah, that last video that I put up probably was last week when I uploaded it, but I actually probably made it like nearly 2 weeks before. I had a few teething problems trying to get it to like render at a sort of like a decent size that didn't take too long to like upload on YouTube. Oh my goodness, I was having some problems with that. I had to look, it was like a lot of like YouTube like tutorials to try and figure out what to do to make it like bearable. I also like I nearly threw all my footage away because like there was dogs barking at the beginning and I thought you wouldn't be able to hear that, but obviously you could at the start, so I put a bit of music a bit louder at the start and then tapered it down as the video went along. Also like the footage stopped like halfway, well 3/4 of the way through, and I thought I missed the end of it. So there's like a really rough cut, and I'm sure it'll probably happen again because I don't know if it's going to do it again. I'm sure it's some storage thing from on my actual phone because I'm only using my phone to make the videos. So again, still seeing how I'm going at the moment. See if I'm going to carry on doing these videos or not, but I'm enjoying it so far, and hopefully get to meet you guys a bit more from doing it. So yeah, I think that's everything. So yeah, hopefully this will get up a bit quicker. Hopefully I'm going to be trying to get this up for Friday. So hopefully just in a couple of days, if not by the weekend, definitely. Yeah, I've already got like another batch of games ready to do another video. Basically I buy everything at the beginning of the month mainly because that's payday. I can't afford anything after that, and this one's, I think I've gone a bit over the top again, mainly because it's not really car boot season yet, so but now it is. I'll probably won't be getting as many games, but hopefully they'll all be decent, or at least random, or something a bit interesting, at least something with a story other than just going eBay, click, buy and then receive. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the new subscribers and all the new watchers. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.